Hey everyone, welcome back to another Ragnarok M classic video. So a lot of people are asking if I already quit NC server. The answer is no. In fact, I'm still playing two of my accounts here, but right now I'm just focusing on making contents in the global server. But for today's video, I will share my Rune Knight Dragon Breath build here in the C server. As you all know, I recently switched to Genetic, and I noticed that if I'm going to use Fire build in Genetic, I can also build Dragon Breath build since they have almost the same equipments and cards except for the weapon. So I decided to also build it, but I'm still halfway there. Even though it's still not finished, I think it's still a good video for both C and global server. So without further ado, let's begin. For my stats allocation, I maxed my Vit and Intelligence, since it's the most beneficial stats for this build. Vit is for Dragon Breath damage and survivability, while the Intelligence is for M attack and magic defense. The rest of the stats will be on strength for our physical attack. You can completely ignore the strength for PvP build and put it in the decks for more hit rate. Next is my equipment and cards. For my offhand, I'm using a Rosa bracelet for ignore defense. For the card, I'm just using the Meryl card for MVP monsters damage. You can also use the Anubis star card or the Alice star card. For the armor, I'm using a Rift armor, since it's just almost the same or better than a +10 staunch armor. You need at least +12 to completely outdamage the Rift armor. And then for the card, I'm using a Munich star card for ignore defense. For the garments, I'm using Ancient Cape for ignore defense and skill damage. For the card, I'm using a Zanubia card for more skill damage. For global players, you can also use Meryl card or Chucky Tree Star card for more attack. Next is my foot gear. I'm using a Rune boots for both attack and M attack. And then for the card, I'm using a Swordman Sinya card for another skill damage. For global players, you can also use the familiar star card for more magic attack. And then for my accessories, I'm using 2 Orleans gloves with Sharp Blade enchantment for more attack and M attack. For the cards, I'm using Moonlight Tendrillion card, or you can also use Zipper Bear star card for PvP. For my weapon, I'm using a +10 Bilgus arm for PvE and Ivory Lance for PvP. If you're wondering why I'm using this weapon, actually this is better than a +10 or even +12 Lance of the Dragon Tamer when it comes to damage against dungeon bosses. I already tested it, and some players are made videos about it, so if you're not convinced, you can check their videos here on YouTube. And then for the card, I'm using 2 Minorus card for PvE, and then for PvP, I'm using Freoni and Hydra card. For head, I'm using Bashful Moment and then Undri Star for the card. For face, I'm using Monocle with 10% ignored defense enchantment. For mouth, I'm using Shadow Dragon Cub for attack and damage increase. And then for back, I'm using the newest limited back from Headwear Shop. This is very good because it has both penetration and ignore defense. And then for tail, I'm using Red Hot Tail for more penetration. I got lucky here on enchantment, so I have 4% physical damage increase. By the way, here's my equipment for guild versus guild. The only difference is the weapon, which is the Ivory Lance, and the guild rental headwears that are very good for GVG battles. Now let's head to my skill allocation. I will not explain all of them since I'm trying to make this video as short as possible, but I will show it all here. Just pause the video if you want to copy this skill setup. By the way, I didn't mistakenly put points in Aura Blade. As you can see, we have nodes in Aesir Monument that gives 30 attack for each level of Aura Blade. So even we're not using auto attack, it still benefit us by providing a huge amount of raw attack. And then for Master Skill, I'm still working on this one, but even though it's still not complete, it's still boosting our DPS by a huge chunk. Next is Aesir Monument. I will also just mention the important nodes here, and you can pick the other based on your needs. First is the Dragon Breath nodes, of course, for more damage. And then the Aura Blade for the raw attack, just like I said earlier. Call of Justice for magic attack. Concentration Alert to reduce the punishment for concentration. Dragon's Protection for damage reduction. Furious Rage for removing crowd control. Endure Unlimited for better endure. Also, I forgot to show here, but you also need the Sink or Swim nodes to reduce the punishment of Sink or Swim. And then the rest depends on your remaining gold medal and contribution. Almost all nodes are useful, so just unlock them depending on what you need. For small nodes, just aim for attack, refine attack, magic defense, and HP, and then unlock the others if you have many contribution left. And then next is Handbook. Aim for attack, M attack, magic defense, and HP. And then for my memories, just aim for magic attack, damage to all races, and physical attack if you still need it. Now let's do some damage test. By the way, here's the food buffs that I'm using for PvE. I'm using 6 Wiltree Juice for penetration, attack, and M attack. And then for meal, I'm using strength, intelligence, and Vitmeal Bees. Let's try it to Novice Dragon first before trying on Epic Spirit, Thanatos Rune Master. Here's my damage without using Master Skill. And then here's my damage using my Master Skill. Now let's try it on the Thanatos Rune Master Epic Spirit. Anyway, that's it for this video. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you, and see you on the next one.